Welcome back to Travel Guide and Photography. Larry here. I'm out on another day. Pla's not with me. She works 6 days a week, and the other day was her day off. If you remember the other day, this is where I was on top of this bridge over this irrigation canal, and there was a boat to the side. Well, today the fisherman is here. He's setting out his nets, so I'm able to give you another look at what it's like actually here in very rural Northeast Thailand outside Nawa where we live. Don't get into this fish basket, so he must have got a few fish before I got here. Sawadika. Alright, you may have noticed I tried to give him a hand, but he's very self-sufficient here. These are very proud people, very nice, friendly, and the gentleman only had one leg, about the knee down, or just below the knee. He was an amputee for whatever reason. So I was really glad to meet him here for a second. I wish Pla was here so I could have talked to him a little bit, because I speak very, very little Thai. This is where Pla and I turned around the other day. Again, she's not with me today. She's at work. She has a nice little sum-tum stand, and I'm going to shoot a video on that in the next few days here. But she showed me this tree that I can't remember the name of it, but they use the leaves, which are slightly bitter, to flavor their soups and their stir-fries. So they are very, very self-sufficient here in Thailand. They use a lot of the indigenous plants for their food, as a lot of places do in Southeast Asia. Again, the other day when I was with Pla, this is where we turned around. Right where those trees are is where the bridge is that I was just on, talking to that gentleman there, the fisherman. And I'm going to keep going here and show you where I usually go. This is actually just a little over a mile from the house. We're coming up to a structure here, the end of this row of trees. And of course, we got a couple village dogs here. Another one up there towards the structure. This is one of the places that I usually welcome as I'm walking, because like you can see, it's a whole row of trees here. Gets you out of the heat and out of the sun a little bit. There's a few little places like this on my road. This year's been a little bit cooler than usual, so hikes haven't been as bad. Again, today we're a little bit earlier in the morning. It's about 8:30 right now. And other times in the year, I'm usually out here about an hour earlier than this. It just gets too warm here in Thailand. Coming up on another structure, you can see it just off in the distance there. Looks abandoned right now. In the past, depending on the time of year, there's usually a couple people there that are tending these fields. Again, if you look at all these fields, all this brown, it's all harvested rice. Let's take a walk out here a little bit, show you what one of the structures look like, where they kind of hang out during the spring, their spring. And they plant around May and June. Again, they harvest in October and November. So all of this that you see would just be bright, bright, bright green. Beautiful, beautiful rice fields. And back to my road. I showed you the beginning of the road here at this video. Right at the very beginning of this dirt road is where Paul and I live in our house. So the dirt road is basically a thoroughfare for a couple of the smaller villages outside of town. Now there used to be people living here in past years, but it looks like the structure is starting to collapse a little. So maybe they moved on, or maybe again, it's just that time of year that there's no harvest happening, so they're somewhere else. You can see a little bit of rise in the land right there. That basically means that's their water source. There's a little reservoir past that. So let's keep going. Show you where my hike goes. It's about 8 kilometers or 5 miles round trip from the house. We're maybe a mile and a half into it now. Okay, coming up to another structure here. See some different trees. I wish Pla was with me. Let me know what these are. Obviously, I see a couple banana trees and some bamboo. Just not sure what the rest of this is. Now, I've been walking this road for about 3 years now, and I've never seen anybody at this structure. And again, coming up to a row of trees, get a little break from the sun here for a little bit. Okay, I'm at the 2-mile mark here. You can see I'm on my dirt road with the trees that are giving me some shade, which I really appreciate. Not too bad this year. We're the beginning of February, but at the end of this month and in March, it starts getting hot. Gets nothing but harder in April and May, and around June you start getting the rainy season. Once you get through that and you can reach till about November, December, weather's pretty much in this region like Los Angeles. It's warm, but not too warm. It's just beautiful, and that's when they harvest, right around October and November, all the rice. So here again, harvested rice paddies. You see the structure that they stay in during the harvest and during the planting season. And I'm going to keep walking down, cool off a little bit here in the shade before I get back out into the sun. Okay, back out of the trees. See a couple of little camps here. Again, that people use during the harvest season. Behind that bank is a water reservoir. Starting to get close to my turnaround point here. Still have a little bit further to go. You can see there in the trees, a couple structures, people are living there. Then you see the rice paddies here. See a couple livestock, some cows. And this one structure up here. This wasn't here about two and a half years ago is when they started building it. Looks like it's turned out to be a really nice little place. Now we got a couple visitors here on the road. This is pretty common. Got a cow and her calf. If you notice here, the rice paddy is lower. What they do, and Paul and I will do this on our land. Right now we're renting from some friends and we're going to be buying some land from them. What you do is you build this up with dirt and let it sit for at least one, if not two rainy seasons, and it flattens everything out and hardens. When you first put the dirt down, they come in, they level it, compact it, but you still want it to sit for a couple years. Like I said, at least a couple rainy seasons. Makes it rock hard, then you build your structure. Like I said, I think this was probably 2 years ago when I saw them start building this. Looks like a really nice little house. Family there. They got their guard dog, of course. And there they are. Every place has their guard dogs. And this is right at the last stretch, going back into the trees, and it won't be far till I turn around. All right, this is right at the 2.5 mile mark, right where I come out here to this dirt road and turn around, head back, just because it's prettier and I get more solitude walking on the dirt road. If you follow it down there, which I have done before, it'll lead to a main road, a paved road, after you go through a little village, and then you walk back to town. Well, I don't want to do that. I like having the solitude. I like looking at the beauty. Nice little house there. I've never followed the road down there. Maybe I'll do that one of these days. So I'm going to go back into the shade here, break out the water bottle, take a couple minute breather, and then walk the next 2.5 miles back to my house. Never been down this road here. I think I'll take a chance. There are some people down there. See if I can take a look at their farm. Hopefully I won't get attacked by a dog. Swaddy cop. Sabadi mai. That's why I bring treats for the dogs. I got a bunch of little puppies here. What? What's your name? Kap kun kap. And we'll head back, start heading down, back to the house. All right, a little bit further down the road on the way back, get a little different angle. Got a little structure out there in farmland. There are people living there. Okay, coming out of this group of trees, finding another abandoned structure. Haven't seen anybody ever living in this house before. It looks like it was a nice little place once upon a time. Okay, stopping in the shade here for a second. Drink a little bit of water. I've had friends ask me now, have I ever seen anything out here that I've been worried about? And the answer is only once. I spent a lot of time in the Sierras, all my friends know this. Between there and the Rockies, probably lived in them for about 20 years. And there are rattlesnakes there, but if you get too close, you're going to hear them. Here in Thailand, you have about 200 different critters that'll mess with you. The one that probably bothers me the most, or at least that I've seen, and I've only seen it once, was a cobra. I was never in any danger. He was maybe 20, 30 feet in front of me, and he was going across the road here on one of my daily morning hikes. The only time I was ever worried is I went a different way, and I decided to take a shortcut back, and I went across a cornfield that had been harvested, which means there's corn on the ground. Corn brings mice. Mice bring snakes. And a lot of times when I hike, I'm wearing sandals. So I'm going through, crushing it, making a lot of noise, hopefully scaring anything away. I never did see anything, but that's the only time that I was ever really tense. So I've never really seen anything to worry about, except for maybe the occasional village dog that gets a little too close and wants to take a nip at my heels. But again, that's another reason why I bring the dog treats. We were talking about snakes a little earlier. This guy was not here about an hour ago when I first came by. I have no idea what kind of snake this is. Okay, back at the fish pond. We were here yesterday. Little small fish in here. You see the different trees. We got some lemongrass growing in front of us here. Also got some long bean that Flaw pointed out to you guys yesterday. And a little bit of country life here in Thailand. Swadee Kap. Gotten to know these guys a little bit. I pass by their house every day. Swadee Kap. Sabadi Mai. Sabadi. Chuan Chapai. Exercise. Kap Kun Kap. I was hoping to run across a couple of these. These have taken the place of the oxen, or here the water buffalo. Swadee Kap. Swadee Kap. Okay, we got about 3/4 of a mile to go and we'll be home. Okay, we're getting back towards the edge of town again, just a couple hundred yards down this road where Pla and I live. Takes me a little over 2 hours, which is a slow pace, but it's the journey, not the destination. And I stop a lot of times along the way to take photographs, just relax and to enjoy the views. Okay, we're here at the end of the dirt road. And this is where I live. We're back at my home with Pla here in Thailand. And this is our property. I'll give you more of a view of the property itself. We live on 3 rai, which is about 1.5 acres. We have a great garden here in front. And in back, we also have some land, part of which Pla and I are going to purchase next year and build our home. Right now, I'm renting from a very good friend of mine and his wife, Gon, who actually owns the land, who is actually Pla's cousin. So if you have enjoyed your walk through Thailand here in rural Northeast Thailand, please subscribe to Travel Guide and Photography. Hit the bell. It costs you absolutely nothing. You'll be notified when I posted a new video. Hit the thumbs up to let YouTube know that you've enjoyed the videos. So again, thank you very much, and I'll see you next week.